What's going on, guys? My name is Sam, and this is my channel where we talk all things Dallas Cowboys, called Dallas Cowboys Weekly. Anyways, I am responding. I am responding to a video that I just saw by a guy named Joey. I'll make sure to leave a link in the comment section below after this is done. After I've done live and showed my argument for why I think Jason Garrett is a good head coach and why I think Jason Garrett can take us to the Super Bowl. Anyways, go check out his YouTube channel and his argument for why he doesn't want Jason Garrett, or why he doesn't think Jason Garrett can take us to the Super Bowl. So Joey, first off, I hope that you hear the sincerity of me. I'm just having fun. Want to do some counterbatter, be a devil's advocate, just show you a different perspective and show you why I think he can take us to the Super Bowl and why I like him. And anyways, I decided to do it the same way you're doing it. So I just got some notes down, and I thought I would just get up here, say my argument. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the arguments. The first thing that you say is that we all agree that Jason Garrett needs to go, and that's not true. First off, obviously me, Dallas Cowboys fan, and I don't just want Jason Garrett to stay because he looks like me. We could do that, kind of have the same red hair, stuff like that. No. I like him for more reasons than just that. And so not everyone is a Jason Garrett hater. I'm a big fan of him. You say that he doesn't have what it takes, and you say that there hasn't been a good head coach since since we were winning those football games or the Super Bowls back in the 90s. And I have an argument against that. First off, Bill Parcells was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys between 2003 and 2007, and there's no way you can argue that he wasn't a good coach, right? He didn't win any Super Bowls with us, by the way. He was the first coach to ever take 4 different teams to the playoffs, 3 teams to the conference championship, and he's won 2 Super Bowls with the New York Giants. So this is the coach that came into the Dallas Cowboys who has experience winning, experience building teams, and with the 4 years that he was with us between 2003 and 2007, he did not win a Super Bowl. And so that's an argument for a good coach being in the organization and not taking the team to the Super Bowl. And here's another stat: he was in the league for 19 years and only won 2 Super Bowls. So, I mean, that is something to keep in perspective. Like, these are long-term. Like, people want to think that you just bring in a new coach and a new coach will solve all your problems. And that's all you need is a new coach. With someone who's better at strategy, who's better at this, better at that, and they'll fix all the problems. And I think that is – I think you rush into too many things. You get rid of all the good things that Jason Garrett is because he's not the best at everything. And I feel like that's not how you actually build success. So going into Jason Garrett's record, right? You talked about how his first 3 years were 8-8, right? He's building his team. I just want to also point out that in 2011, that was his first year as head coach, not including 2010 where oh man, what's his name? He's like defensive coordinator now for the Rams. Anyways, when that head coach, Wade Phillips, there we go. When Wade Phillips, in 2010, got fired in the Green Bay game, and then Jason Garrett took over. Obviously that year doesn't count, but his first year was 2011. And that first year, do you know who the 2011 first draft player was? The player in the first draft? Tyrone Smith. Jason Garrett is the first one to start building this offensive line. And that has to be he has to get credit for that. He's the one that has gone in and built this entire offensive line. The one that we love so much from 2016, the one that I foresee this next year, 2018, being the best offensive line. I think we're going to take our record. I think we're going to destroy what we did in 2016. And that all has to be given to Jason Garrett as a coach. So anyways, first 3 years, 8-8, right? So average team. You're building your team back up. His 4th year, 4 and 12. Okay, so you even talked in your video. That has to do with Romo getting hurt, and that's a big thing. Like, most teams cannot weather the storm when their starting quarterback goes out. Understandable. 2016, incredible year. Better than we expected because Romo got hurt again, and Dak Prescott, with no NFL experience, came in and was able to win 13 games. That's incredible. That really is. And so if you want to put on 2017 on him, you also have to give the fact that he took a rookie quarterback in 2016 who has no NFL experience, picked in the 4th round to the playoffs. And yeah, they lost their first game in the playoffs against Green Bay Packers, against Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And so, that was a great year. But then you want to talk about 2017, and you talked about how Zeke was out and they still should have won. But here's the thing. It wasn't just Zeke out for 6 games. You had Sean Lee out. You had Tyron Smith out. You had Dez Bryant being top 5 wide receivers in drops that year. We lost Ron Leary that year. Our left guard was terrible. In which case, you should blame Garrett on that. His job is to outfit this team so that they can go play with the starters that they have. Injuries are something that are just inevitably going to happen, and you can't control. But having a bad left guard in Cooper, that is part of Jason's fault, and so you definitely can blame him. But Tyron Smith going out and having 6 sacks by Claiborne, not Mo Claiborne, but the defensive end from the Falcons, that is not on him. And the fact that we lost that game. Here's a couple of the games. Rams, we should have won that game. I'm getting a phone call here. Oh, that's weird. No idea how to change that. All right. So, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Absolutely, buddy. Thank you for saying that. So that's actually a point that I'm about to get to. So again, we lost some major games last year, and I think that has a lot to do with more of the personnel that we had on the team than Jason Garrett. So there are 3 things that I think make a good coach. One is the ability to build team, right? I think this is something that Jason Garrett's really good at. I mean, you just look at the last drafts that we had, the last 3, I think have been fantastic. This past draft, 2018, I would give him an A. 2017, outside of Taco Charlton, which again, he could still turn out to be a great defensive end, was a great draft cut specifically for those corners, right, in our secondary. The year before that, Zeke and Dak in the same draft, unbelievable. So I think he's a really good team builder. Another thing that makes a good coach is the ability to command respect and motivate your players to play really, really hard. And so I think he is really, really good at that. And if you go watch the All or Nothing on Amazon, you get to see how he commands respect from his players. You get to see that even in bad times, like last year in 8-8 or 9-7, even the times where it didn't look like we could actually make it to the playoffs, his players were still playing hard for him. That's not something that can be said for Wade Phillips in 2010 with the Green Bay Packers and the team just giving up on it. So he has that. The third piece, and this is where I think Jason Garrett is flawed, and this is where I think that we could bring in somebody else in a more of a specialty role, is game strategy, putting a game plan together and executing it. I don't think Jason Garrett is the best at game strategy. So I think we need to bring in a new offensive coordinator, and that's what I think. Jason Garrett still has the head coach, the ability to manage his team, to run his team, to build the team that he wants, and have a coordinator that's not Scott Linehan to come in and be able to run a game from an offensive perspective really well. Also with our defense, right? I think our defensive coordinator is really, really good at getting the defensive line and taking people that aren't great at defensive line who are kind of scrubs, who aren't like top talent, and making them really good. He is really, really good at that. But I don't think he's a great defensive coordinator from a strategic standpoint. And so this is my point. I think Jason Garrett is a great head coach, and I think he should continue to be a head coach. I don't think he's a great strategist. And so that's what I would like to see. I would like to see some new offense and defensive coordinators to come in to be great strategists to help us win games. You look at the way the Eagles were able to throw and pass. The passing game this year was phenomenal. You look at the Rams, right? They got a new head coach, but they also got a new offensive coordinator, and they did a really good job. Yeah, buddy, man, I'm really disappointed that Jason Witten didn't get a ring. That hurts. That really sucks. You know, regardless of your opinion of Jason Witten or the Dallas Cowboys, Jason, you got to have respect for Jason Witten and what he brought and what he meant to this organization. And the fact that, man, he wasn't able to get a ring is just really disappointing. So, anyways, just that my conclusion, guys, is I think Jason Garrett's a good coach. I think we need to bring in some more people that are better at strategy in game aspects. So love to hear what you have to say. Throw some comments below. Joey, I hope you take this good heart, and I hope you bring in some more. I'd love to keep going back and forth, so bring some more video. Tell me why I'm wrong and what you think we could do. I think it's really interesting to point out, like, yeah, we can get rid of Jay. I hope you have a great day. Bye.